New York Times poll gives doubts as to who will win the election. Democrats are underperforming in mail-in voting in key battleground states, and several alarming revelations to the Hunter Biden email scandal. Before we get started with the news, if you're watching this video, I want to ask that you please go hit that subscribe button on my homepage, like this video, and share it with your friends. I don't have a marketing team or a big fancy studio, so all of my video traffic comes through you, my viewers. So what are you waiting for? It only takes 2 seconds to go to my homepage and subscribe. If you like my content, if you want to see more of it, and if you want to be part of helping my channel grow, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss a video, and share this video with your friends. And if everyone who watched this video did that, if everyone who watched it shared it one time, I'll be bigger than Joe Rogan by the end of next week. All right, on to the juicy news. Today we're going to start out with this new New York Times poll that I came across on Twitter. This thread is by Jonathan Martin, another New York Times person. New New York Times poll: Trump out of step with key groups on the virus. 56% of seniors said the worst of the virus is to come, and just 29% said the worst has already happened. Support for a national mask mandate is 59 to 39 and rises to 70% among women. So 59% approve of the national mask mandate, 39% disapprove, whatever. So this whole poll, 50% side with Biden, 41% side with Trump. You know, that looks an awful lot like to me, the national average. We'll get there in a second. Far less popular, according to our survey, is adding justices to the Supreme Court. 58% of voters said they were against it, and opposition rose to 65% among independents. So there you go. The majority of the United States is really against packing the court, which, you know what, Joe Biden wants to do. What doesn't make sense to me is that the majority of Americans support a national mask mandate, because that's not something within the power of the president. Biden changed his answer on national mask mandate authority again. Says he would not have the power to enforce it. Looks like he's taken a page out of Obama's playbook, who said repeatedly that he did not have the power to make refer to as Obamacare. He did not have the power to do that, to sign that into law unilaterally. And then he did. He said he would prefer governors mandate masks on their own, but changed position on federal action. Democrat presidential nominee Joe Biden appeared to shift his answer on the issue of federal mask mandates for the third time in a matter of weeks, and the second time in 2 days. During a CNN town hall event Thursday, in which he said he would not have the authority as president to mandate people wear face masks in public. Biden addressed a wide range of issues in the event, including Attorney General William Barr's comment comparing coronavirus lockdown measures to slavery. Comments by Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Director Dr. Robert Redfield on masks that appeared to contradict President Trump, whether he would accept the election results. He said he would, and more. Whatever. Anderson Cooper tweeted out, "He knew it and he did nothing. It's close to criminal." Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden slams President Trump for his handling of the pandemic, saying if he had acted earlier, he would have saved many thousands of lives. Okay. So, there is so much going on here to unpack. So, first of all, did William Barr compare lockdowns to historic American slavery? No, he did not. He said this is something that Americans have not experienced since the time of slavery. That's what he said. He did not compare the lockdowns to slavery. Do not buy into this propagandistic conspiracy theory crap. People are trying to rile you up to try to get you to vote against Donald Trump. William Barr, once again, the Attorney General William Barr, did not refer to our national lockdowns as slavery. Okay, what's next? First, this claim from Joe Biden. He knew it and he did nothing. It's close to criminal. Okay, we've already gone over this. To say that Donald Trump could have saved lives is to suggest that he knew how bad the virus was going to be. There's no evidence of that. None. And I don't mean just a little bit. I don't mean a lot. I don't mean just very minuscule. I mean none. There was no evidence, right? Trump said in an interview, I forgot who the interviewer was. He said in the interview that the virus might be airborne. Okay? This was literally 4 months before any scientist had even thought about proclaiming this virus as airborne. No one knew it was airborne, right? So when Trump said it was airborne, he's just spouting off. There's no evidence to suggest that Donald Trump knew how deadly this virus is going to be. And then for Biden to say if he would acted sooner, he would have saved many thousands of lives, as if Biden would be doing a better job right now, which, as again, we've already talked about, he wouldn't have. Biden was openly campaigning for months after Trump told everyone to shut everything down, after he shut down travel from China, after he shut down businesses to the to the request of Democrats, which has now ruined the economy, and the CDC is now recommending against national lockdowns. So let me clear this up. Donald Trump, who didn't want to locked down because the Democrats wanted him to. And then Joe Biden says if he would have acted sooner, he would have saved lives by locking down sooner. But then we look now, and lockdowns aren't actually effective. So Donald Trump was right the whole time. We shouldn't have locked down. We shouldn't have locked down. Shouldn't have. This is crazy. So Donald Trump is actually likely enacting quote unquote later than Joe Biden is now criticizing him for, has saved lives. This is all crazy. And like I said, this New York Times poll, I haven't read the article. I refuse to read New York Times because they want you to buy subscriptions. Not going to do it. But the conclusion is that Joe Biden is sitting at 50%, Donald Trump is sitting at 41%. Like I said, that looks an awful lot like the national polling averages, where Donald Trump is within 8.5 points. Whereas yesterday, he was 9.5 points. Joe Biden's lead is dropping. Okay? Donald Trump is not rising in the polls. That's not what's happening here. Joe Biden is dropping his lead. People are finding out about the Hunter Biden story. People are finding out about the Hunter Biden story, which is making him start to lose in states. I'm sorry, not lose. We'll go into that later. But Democrats are underperforming in states like Florida. Okay, they have an 11-point lead, right? So while this looks bad right now, okay, almost a third of all votes have been cast for Florida. So this is bad for Democrats because 75% of Democrats are wanting to mail in their ballots, according to recent polling. Okay, so if 75% of the ballots cast by Democrats are mailed in, but only 20% of the ballots are mailed in from Republicans, that means this is likely only approximately 20% of the Republican vote, and this is 75% of the Democratic vote, which means Trump is going to win Florida running away. All right, and we see similar issues with the Arizona. If 75% of the Democratic vote is by mail and only 20% of the Republican vote is by mail, it doesn't matter that you have a 7.5 point lead. Republicans are going to win the state running away, regardless of this itty-bitty 6% unaffiliated vote. All right, and we see the same thing in Michigan. Trump might actually win Michigan. He's less than 5 points down. And again, if this is 75% of the Democratic vote and this is only 20% of the Republican vote, as more and more people begin to vote on voting day, November 3rd, okay, and all the Democrats have already voted by November 3rd, okay, the Republicans are going to come out in the next few days after, mail in their ballots. Trump will win Michigan running away. And it's even likely that he wins the state like Pennsylvania. Only 16% of their votes have been cast. Only 16% of their votes have been cast. Now, this 40% gap is really bad news for Donald Trump. It is. It's really bad news. But let's take a look real quick at Pennsylvania. Trump is gaining and Biden is dropping. So what does that mean? That means likely 90% of these votes are votes that have already been cast by Democrats. It means Democrats probably past the next week or so, Democrats aren't going to be voting anymore because they've already cast all their votes. And this shows that not many Republicans have voted yet. And they're all going to come out and vote in droves on voting day, November 3rd. Republicans, Trump supporters, conservatives will crawl over broken glass to go vote for Donald Trump. And I believe that this vote is bigger than the Trump derangement anti-Trump vote. Trump is going to win Pennsylvania, especially seeing that Biden only has a 3.5 point lead in Pennsylvania. And in 2016, he won the state by 3.5 points, even though he started out behind in the polls. Trump's going to win Pennsylvania. That's my hot take. We see this again in Arizona. So let's take a look back. Arizona. Biden's got a 6.5 point lead, 7.5 point lead. But this tweet by Sam Almy. Here's what's happening in Arizona 6. Dems currently have a returned advantage of 6,500. That isn't much, but at this time in 2016, GOP had an advantage of 11,000. So what happened between then and now? Donald Trump happened between then and now. Donald Trump has happened between then and now. He told the Republicans, don't vote by mail. It's a trap. So what does that mean? It means they haven't voted by mail yet. However, grand total registered, 509,000. Okay, Democrat, 143,000. Republican, 200,000. Requests, 120,000 from Democrats, 160,000 from Republicans. Returns. Now there's where starting to look good for Democrats. Democrats have only have requested far fewer, even though they've returned a lot more. But Republicans have requested far more than both the returned, requested, and the Democratic registered. Republicans are going to win Arizona running away, even though they are currently losing by 7.5 points. Look at this again. Democrats have requested 120,000 and returned 56,000. The Republicans have requested 159,000 and only returned 50,000. But the Republicans outnumber the Democrats in the state largely by over 57,000. Trump is going to win this running away, especially because Trump has a 94% approval rating amongst the Republican Party across the United States. So that's that. I'll be remiss. I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't talk about the big story that's on everyone's mind. The big story that is changing more votes than likely anything else. Hunter Biden. So this story from Newsweek. From child porn on Hunter Biden's laptop to QAnon, conspiracy theories pollute 2020 election's final weeks. With just 15 days until the presidential election on November 3rd, conspiracy theories have played a major part in the campaign, and they are likely to stay on the radar as the 2020 contest nears its end. As President Donald Trump trails former Vice President Joe Biden in national polls, the Republican and some of his prominent allies have shared unfounded conspiracy theories about the Democrats. There have also been conspiracy theories aimed at Trump by some of his critics, especially following his positive test for coronavirus earlier this month. Here are some of the most prominent conspiracy theories in the run-up to the election. Child porn on Hunter Biden's laptop. The most recent conspiracy theory to hit headlines focuses on Hunter Biden, the former vice president's son, and what the New York Post described as a smoking gun email on a laptop obtained by former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani. The conservative radio host Wayne Root claimed without evidence in a tweet shared tens of thousands of times that Hunter Biden's laptop contains videos of him sexually abusing Chinese children. This isn't necessarily unfounded. There have been a couple of reports by some fringe networks that Chinese whistleblowers have come forward to tell about Hunter Biden abusing Chinese children. So it's not completely unfounded. The idea that's on the laptop that thus far has been unfounded. There's no proof evidence of that yet, although there might be coming down the pipeline, as we'll see here in a second. But the email at the center of the story allegedly shows Hunter Biden arranging a meeting between his father and a member of the board of Burisma. Again, I'm not even trying to pronounce that. Burisma is a Ukrainian energy company. Biden's son was also a member of the board. The Post carried a photo of the email, but the contents of the laptop have not been seen by other news outlets. The Biden campaign said a review of the former vice president's schedule for that time period shows no such meeting took place. But then his campaign staff has come out and said, that meeting might have happened off the books, which means it most definitely happened. Sorry. Joe Biden met with Burisma executives. That's where the evidence is pointing right now. He met with Burisma executives. He was using his son as an intermediary to gain money, to line his pockets from Ukraine to China. CBS News interviewed the owner of a Delaware computer repair store, John Paul MacIsaac, who reportedly gave the laptop to Giuliani. MacIsaac said he was not able to confirm it was Hunter Biden who dropped off the laptop because he is, quote, legally blind. However, since then, more details have arisen. A receipt allegedly shows Hunter Biden's signature. Trouble for Hunter Biden, especially because Rudy Giuliani has access to all the information that was on these laptops and hard drives. Speaking of, here is a sampling of the Hunter Biden text Giuliani turned over to the police. On Tuesday night, former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani went public about very, very sensitive text messages, allegedly detailing Hunter Biden's abuse of teenage girls and sordid financial deals with which Giuliani claimed to have turned over to Delaware State Police. The texts appeared to implicate Democratic nominee Joe Biden in covering up his son's alleged sexual abuse and in taking part in some of Hunter Biden's deals. Hunter Biden allegedly sent the text messages to his father. In the messages, he allegedly accused his sister-in-law and former lover, Hallie Biden, of telling Hunter's therapist that he was sleeping with a 14-year-old girl. Okay, so let's sort this out. If you guys remember, last summer there was this big hoorah, big hullabaloo, big ordeal about how Hunter Biden had some child with some random stripper or whatever it was out in the middle of the country, and Hunter Biden was like, oh, no, it's not mine. And the DNA results revealed, yes, it was yours. At the time, he was sleeping with his older dead brother, Beau's widow. Hunter stooping his sister-in-law. Then all of a sudden has this affair with a stripper in the middle of the country who has a daughter. I think it was a daughter at least. And the DNA results confirm it was him. And this whole time, there's now video evidence showing that Hunter Biden is sniffing crack off of the, shall we say, booty of apparently a 14-year-old girl. And her name has been redacted for purposes of this, to protect her. Thank God, no one needs to know her name. She needs to remain anonymous. So this is blank, right? Hunter, that's from Joe. And Hunter says, she told my therapist that I was sexually inappropriate with blank when she says that I FaceTime naked with her, and the reason I can't have her out to see me is because I'll walk around naked, smoking crack, talking blank girls on FaceTime. When she was pressed, she said that the blank never said anything like that, but the bottom line is that I created and caused a very unsafe environment for the kids. If it stopped there, I would let it go, but then blank friend blank sober coach. So it looks like Joe is texting back and forth with Hunter about him having sexual relationships with underage girls. This is supported by numerous pictures of underage girls, Giuliani added. He said he turned the text messages over to the Delaware State Police because he was very uncomfortable with the fact that these underage girls were not protected. As for Joe Biden, Giuliani asked, what did he do about it? What did he do about it for 3 years? Joe Biden knew about this for 3 years, and he did nothing. Now, how long has Giuliani known about it? That's a little wishy-washy. We don't know the full timeline. We don't know when the store owner gave these copies of the hard drives to Rudy Giuliani. Okay, we do know that the FBI has had this information for a year minimum. We do know that Joe Biden has known about this for 3 years and did nothing. And the FBI and the Director of National Intelligence have now confirmed this is accurate information. Why this is not front page media is ridiculous. This should be the front page story on every news site in America. But because every major news site is owned by the Democrats, the only people reporting on it are Fox News, which, if they're the only ones, it's easy to point to them and say, you're just making up stuff to protect Donald Trump. Well, the Washington Post has come out and now they are going to bat for Joe Biden. They've endorsed Joe Biden. And I wouldn't be surprised if over the next few days we see every other major news company, aside from Fox, wouldn't be surprised if we see every other major news company come out and endorse Joe Biden. CNN, MSNBC, NBC, CNBC, the whole shebang. The entire media infrastructure of America is owned by the Democrats. And they are batting for Joe Biden. They are protecting him because they want him to win the election so that they can maintain this media monopoly to control what it is you see, what you learn, and what you hear. Don't let them do it. Go vote. Thanks for watching. Like I said at the beginning of the video, please hit that like and subscribe button, and please share this video with your friend. Help me combat false narratives floating around the social media sphere, and I will see you here tomorrow.